If you're just joining us, good morning. It's our Man's World segment, and here it goes. Do you spend more time questioning your partner's words or actions than examining your own? Do you love your partner, but feel like if she just changed this one thing or that one thing, then it would be even better? The real question this morning is, should you try to change your partner or leave them? To answer these questions, we have Isaac Buchanan, J.R. Watkis, and Basie.
Yeah, man.
Gentlemen,
Morning,
good morning.
Sir,
How are you doing?
good to see you.
Long time, sir. Do you change them or leave them?
Well, they will change themselves. You can't change anybody. Life is growth and growth is change. And if you try to change people, you live miserable.
Hold on, they will change themselves?
Yes, the people change themselves. You can't expect anybody to change. Eventually, people grow.
Yeah.
And that growth process is a changing process. If you make it your duty to focus on them changing anything at all, you live miserably. So I just accept people for who they are.
I think it depends on where you are in a relationship and what type of relationship, you know?
Yeah.
And what you have invested. I mean, when you're at a certain age in your life, you're quicker to say, oh, I'm going about my business, we find somebody else. But then when you reach a certain stage now and this is something more meaningful, then you really, leaving them is not so easy. And you're not trying to change them either.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to find it, the in-between, you know? Because you definitely can't just leave, get up on that if you have kids, for instance, or whatever. But at the same time, you can never, to what I'm saying, you can never really change somebody. Only them can change themselves.
Kids are assets. You just can't up and leave your investments. Isaac?
Well, you see, because I believe in molding and shaping into what I want and satisfying my needs, it is important to understand that the woman that you choose must be able to take instructions, must understand that when I lead, she follows. And I know she's watching because I did indicate to her this morning that I would be speaking on this, so I'm sure she will defend me. She will defend me to the utmost maximum when after this becomes controversial.
Are you using Basie and Jar's presence to dilute whatever trouble you are going to get yourself into?
No. I'm not getting in trouble.
It's for tweeters that Judith for Sunrise E went to Cyndi Lauper with True Colors.
Right.
Cyndi has another song which has a famous line, some boys take a beautiful girl and hide her away from the rest of the world or change her. No, I don't buy this thing about leaving them to change themselves because that suggests that you're just going to be passive in your discomfiture.
No, it's not passive. There's a difference between allowing someone to grow and being an example of the values that you want to emulate in your life and your relationship.
Are you not just using nicer sounding words to say exactly the same thing?
No,
said that if they can't take instructions, you said lead by example. Well, actual leadership is instruction.
To be very clear, I don't agree with him. The kind of woman the kind of woman I am attracted to and that I love and I want in my life are people with their own minds, making their own decisions, and them not take talk.
I can vouch for that.
Well, see, so let me defend myself here. You see, the type of woman that you want must be able to bring value to your life. It's not only physical. So, in my relationship, I'm an attorney. It's only fitting that I have an equal partner. So she's also an attorney. Because you find that the change that I'm talking about is also change with self. Because we're talking about development, we're talking about power building. So you have economics, you have happiness, you have social status, you have wealth. If I continue, you see where happiness comes with your entire life being complete.
But do those things, especially in your line of work, the three of you are in the image industry, but specifically the music and entertainment industry, where there are expectations. People, oh, it must have this, it must have that, it must have that. Do you run the risk, in going back to some of what Isat said, that it is a progression on other issues rather than a progression on love?
I think to agree with Isaac, I think when you're choosing a person, you have to choose a person that fits where you're going with your life. And then when you're going as an artist, for instance, it's very easy to be with somebody today and then you grow apart from that person. Just your journey of where you're going in life and the type of person that you're evolving to be. You have to have the right partner that's going to grow with you. And that comes down to not just saying, change this about yourself, but about the woman, but you have to check yourself too. For me personally, I'm the type of person, before me say something to you, I'm check myself, because that means it's not a double standard I go on, because a lot of times we throw things on people that is really us is the issue. So me know say when me throw something on you, I don't check myself and I know say I'm good. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying, like, I don't say we're growing together with this particular situation, but it's not a change or leave, is come and work this thing out. That's for me.
So then the issue becomes, separation comes when there has been a process of trying to meld
If
together.
you're with the wrong person. Sometimes you're with the wrong person, that's the person you need to leave.
There's a good point on which to pivot, because
I want to address something that both of them said.
Yeah.
We have to be careful not to make our partners our projects.
Right.
And if you turn your partner into a project, you're going to want to fix them and shape them. They're human beings. We have to give them the grace and space. Hold on, let me finish.
You're not in a court of law. The two of them beg to differ.
No, I'm echoing him. No.
Oh, you're echoing him.
So that's it. You can't object to everything like it's a courtroom. A relationship.
No, so I'm stopping you right here because
no, man, don't stop me. Let me finish.
All right, go ahead.
A relationship requires grace and space to grow. If you don't give it
I
grace
was
and
once in a
space,
relationship with Grace. It didn't last long.
if you don't give it grace and space, it comes back to you. And the same things that you're trying to fix, it's usually us
Right, that's what
who
I
need
say.
the fixing.
That's what I say, yeah.
No,
Because we're seeing a mirror. The person we
Right.
attract in our lives is a mirror.
Right.
And we're seeing it and we don't like it. But it's really something inside of you that you're trying to fix.
So you're speaking for yourself, because sometimes, and this is what we miss, I'm speaking for everybody now, you get a boiled peas and plant it and expect growth to come from it. If you pick up something that is incapable of growing, you are not the problem.
Humans are a boiled piece.
But then the problem, using the same analogy, the problem would have been, why did you take up a boiled
Which
piece
is
and
where's
plant
the
it?
start. So when we say that we can't mold people and shape people, the very thing that you love is potential. If there is not potential, and if I can't see you in 5 years, 10 years, and plan my life with you, I'm wasting my time. So there's no grace and there's no space to grow. I know what I want. If you can't provide it, it's a simple fix, because I'm complete by myself. That's very important. The happiness comes from me.
Yeah.
Well, no, so what I would want to say is, like, it's very, very important to know that, like you're saying a while ago, you're growing and you take up the boiled peas and all that, but for me, it's kind of like, you have to know if this person is worth all of that. And I come back to him and say, I really don't believe it's my job to change somebody. It's kind of like, are we on the same page now where we were 5 years ago? And if not, we can talk about it. But at the long and short, is sometimes we're growing apart. Sometimes a person have a specific trajectory that they are meant to go on. And sometimes we're here and then we'll go like this. And if I have to be the one to tell you what to change and all that, we're already in a bad situation. Like, it's supposed to be a natural growth together.
Let's dial it back a little bit. Let's dial it back a little bit. Because, and funny enough, you mentioned the word impermanence, because there's still an unsettled matter as to whether humans are designed for perpetual cohabitation in a single committed
You mean monogamy?
That's my
or
point.
serial monogamy, because polygamy suggests that you have several at one time.
Not just that.
But then you can have serial polygamy.
Not just that. Not just monogamy or polygamy. Everything changes. You will lose the person you love. The person you're trying to change, they will die, you will die, somebody will die. You will lose them. Even in a marriage, you will lose it. They will leave you somewhere, somehow. To try to dictate how their life should be lived in a draconian I want it this way is to not understand impermanence. Everything is temporary. If it changes, it's temporary. What you are now, what you were last year is different. Is it 2021
I know.
we are going on now?
If you check my IG, you'll see exactly how I changed in 11 years.
So if you're fixed on what your partner should be in 2010, right?
Yeah.
And life a change. It means that you're not changing with life because things will change.
But there's certain things that don't change.
We're talking about
though.
several different
Compatibility
things. Because,
never changes.
Right, there are remember
No, it
that,
can change.
which is why
Yeah.
we go back to the mold argument.
I'm afraid of that
Yeah,
whole
no,
argument.
here's why I keep saying that, because you have to know what. If you do not know what you want, you're going to be constantly complaining, and it cannot be we take it as it comes or we take it as we go. And if that is not the case, then the aspect of change that we're talking about, it's not the person.
But who make that
itself.
decision?
It's things about.
Him say it.
It's things about the person that you need to change, as well as understanding that you're going to change yourself.
Okay,
There is compromise.
Let's get some specifics on the table, Basie. When we talk about change,
Exactly.
as men,
Right.
precisely, what are we talking about?
Well,
Because
first,
a
I
lot of it
mean, I
starts-
can't tell the nagging. I can't tell the extra talking. Like,
Here.
you know
See, we
what I mean?
all can agree on
Yeah,
one
that's
thing.
first thing that I would like to change. Is just like let's tone down the unnecessary conversation about unnecessary things that don't really change where we're going in life. You know what I mean? You know, the gossip, like for me, I've noticed women like to come home from work and spend an hour talking about some random person at the office.
lucky if it's an hour.
And it don't have any relevance on what we want to do with our lives 20 years from now.
I don't know those women, by the way. I don't know them.
But
This is a bus driver, by the way, people.
So
This is
that's
a
one
bus
thing I would
driver.
like
Him
to
throw you
change.
under the bus and then drive the bus on you.
Machine.
but that's what I would change, the unnecessary conversation.
What's one of the specific things? You don't know those persons that speak unnecessarily about unnecessary things and unnecessary people, but what are the kinds of things you have allowed to evolve in a direction that is compatible to yours?
So let's talk about the topic and that. The topic is about change them. I was allowed the grace by several people to change and grow. If I didn't grow, I would have had that perspective the same, like I have to mold people and fix them, right?
Yeah.
It is a misogynistic, patriarchal system.
Hold on, misogynistic is a harsh word.
No,
I
man,
don't think wanting to.
I'm talking about the system. I'm talking about the system.
I think he wants to show up tomorrow. You sure?
Well, listen, viewers know that on Thursday
This is the
there is
backlash
Woman's World,
conversation,
and the
Let me
class
finish
about
that.
tomorrow
Let
is
me
going to be
finish.
turned.
When I buy the girl and when I buy the girl and
No, I'm making a good point. We as men learned how to be men from structures in society that molded us
Or it changed us.
or changed us into the patriarchal thinking. And that patriarchal thinking often oppressed the weaker sex,
Yeah.
right? So we think we have to be man in charge and sometimes you have to allow a woman to be in charge to find your strength.
Or to think she's in.
No, you have to allow her to be in
we're
charge.
talking about there are different types of women.
And then,
See, we're talking
and
about
then,
10 different things here.
and then, no,
We're
no,
talking
no.
about 10 different
But
things
listen
here.
to my one thing.
Yeah.
My one thing is you have to allow women the grace and space to grow, just like they'll do you.
But
If you want a
patriarchy.
relationship
You're
to
saying
flourish,
allow.
if you want a relationship to flourish, you can't be the
But hold on.
dictator
No,
in a
but you just said
relationship.
allow. You know, you just use the word allow, which means you're giving them permission to do something.
No, as in you're
Within
not,
the
you're not
parameters.
over them. No, you're not over
But
them.
I want to make this point though, because you raised patriarchy. So we clearly have different ideas and concepts in our head of the type of female that we want. Because the female that I want must be able to buy me things, must be able to pamper me, must be able to take charge where necessary. So I'm
does that
not.
have
I'm
to do
not.
with-
So
what does that do?
no. I'm saying there's no weakness in the female that I'm
That
speaking
don't mean a
of.
woman
As
is
what-
strong, Bridget.
No, man.
A woman
Yeah,
being
man.
able to
Listen,
buy don't mean
no.
nothing.
What same thing. A man who's able to buy don't mean he's strong either. But I'm talking about a certain type of power dynamics and equality. So the change that we're talking about is tweaking things from somebody that you already chose to be a partner.
And each...
And that's a completely different concept. So when the change I'm talking about is you're not going to take up a butterfoot and then talk about I want to make you into a queen.
You know, I preferred when you said boiled peas.
I don't call women out of them names, no matter which level
I really prefer saying they even prefer the boiled peas metaphor.
I can use that. No, notice I never said butter ears because we want them to listen. So I wasn't talking about butterfoot. I was being very specific in the words.
I never ready for this one.
Because again, like I said, I'm not searching.
Right.
Yeah.
My queen, she's doing all that she needs to do.
And sometimes queens dethrone the king. So let us use the remaining minutes to ask, when along the path of a relationship does the man discover that he's been changed by the woman, Basie?
Man been changed by the woman. Well, I think, honestly speaking, I think it's a give and take.
Yeah.
I think both of us must be building each other. I think as much as I can lead and say, you know, this would work better for you. This is what I observe about your personality. This is what I observe, and I can put it out there, and you can decide what you want to do. I'm just telling you, almost as a best friend, not only as your lifelong partner. Similarly, that person must be able to look at me and say, yo, you know, say if you do this, you do that, it will make you a better person. And that kind of cyclical encouragement and building up is how it must go as a relationship.
A part of it is a communication block, you know, because we communicate differently, and if
But
so,
if you have emotional intelligence, that is the ability to.
By the way, I just want to point out, you know, there's a difference between patriarchal and patronizing. So when you are going to use your emotional intelligence to provide grace for evolution and allow space for them to grow, I just think it's a difference of words. You know, you have a spin on it that he doesn't even try to have. You realize you're both similar.
No.
Isaac, you realize you're both similar.
I don't think so.
Basically, I'm so glad that me and you in the middle.
You raised the point about change.
I was talking.
I have changed.
True. Go ahead.
When you have an emotional, intelligent woman, and she's growing in a particular direction, and she's self-actualizing, you don't have to control that.
Okay.
You allow it to grow, and she will help you to become your best self. And that's when you both find harmony, because remember this whole thing is about harmony, you know.
Yeah.
Once you do anything that throw a glitch into the harmony,
it's gone.
You throw off the woman. If you throw off the woman, you know you're not a peace in your life.
I think you're speaking conceptually and he's speaking practically, because that move towards self-actualization evidenced in the ability sometimes to take charge or to provide assets and equality in terms of the financial arrangements.
I'm saying if you have a hard and fast stoic way of getting your way, that will throw off the emotional intelligence of the relationship. And you will cause problems and inharmony.
But actually, the emotional intelligence is the ability for both persons to change
each other.
And let me say,
growth is always change.
A quick question.
The change is constant.
Basie, we're speaking on the spiritual personality, internal level. But beauty starts on the outside, or does it start on the inside?
I mean, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. It depends on the person.
You're playing it safe all day.
No, for me personally, okay, so if you're talking about physical appearance, the first that grab me is a nice shape. If a woman have a really nice shape.
And 5 years later, when the shape has changed,
yeah, so that's not going to hold me. That's just going to grab my interest. But if I can have a certain type of conversation with this person, and this person can stimulate me intellectually.
Shape could have good little more.
It's not going to have that lasting effect.
All right.
So if you can get the best of both worlds, you get the nice looking plus a brains murder.
Right, no butterfoot. Thank you. We finally thank you for coming on this side.
We've avoided until a while ago that some of what we try to change is to retain the physical appearance that attracted us in the first place 10 years down the road. True or false?
No, I just want a ackee and saltfish and some food, and then you can cook and we can talk. And the physical is neither here nor there. It's nice, but it's not like
detrimental.
Because you have some pretty girl with dunce and we can't talk to her about nothing. You have pretty girls who don't have no effort. You have pretty girls who have toxic traits and all that. And
All of the above is a toxic trait, the inability to think
All right,
is
beauty
toxic.
is not in the eyes of the beholder. There are people are ugly. Everybody knows that.
No, you can't say that.
It is the truth.
Hey, yo, whose man's is this? Whose man's is this?
It's not
Whose man's
relative.
is
It's
this?
not relative. It is not. It's
You
not
know?
relative. I'm telling. Listen. So let's get. So this is
Let's
all.
do
This
this,
is all the utopian business. Ugly people out there.
No, it's
out there. I see you
relative.
guys every day.
Some of these models that you
Right?
see on...
No.
You see
That's
someone-
it. That is for clothes and hanger and sell
But them
clothes.
people
We're
think-
talking about at the end of the day, if I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with you, you better be pretty. You better stay pretty. You better do all that you need to do. Do your nails. Do your
We
brush your
usually
teeth,
want
do
what
all
we
of
don't
that.
have, you know that?
Guess what? that speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. I'm a confident, good-looking
Luckily
man, and
for
that
me,
is why
luckily
I can
for
ask
me, we
and
can
demand for change.
end this segment on a point that we all agree.
What's that?
Carolyn Brown is the best in the news industry, and she follows with CVM Live. Thank you, gentlemen.